1, 2, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Welcome one and all to another edition of Coventry United TV, live from Bridge Road Stadium, certainly one of the better grounds that we've been to this season, to say the least, with live coverage of Coventry United versus Histon in the United Counties League Premier Division South. The two teams have just headed onto the field, and I'll take you through the starting lineups now. Kicking off with our hosts of Histon, lining up for the Stoots today. Number 1, Sam Roach. Number 2, Samuel Collison. Number 3, Charlie Tunnell. Number 4, Ryan Towner. Number 5, Max York. 6, Luke Crisp. 7, Luke Lindsay. Number 8, Harry Meats. Number 9, Connor Barnes. 10, Babacar Kamara. And number 11, Marcus Cole. Substitutes for Histon: number 12, Todd Dexter. Dexter Todd, I should say. Ollie Foley's number 14. 15 is Ben Hurrian. 16, Kieran McGinty. And number 13 is Chris Goff. And Coventry United line up like this. Number 1, Declan Duggan. Number 2, Assad Senwagiri. Number 3, Harry Chesterton. Number 4, the captain, Riley Devoyle. Number 5, Ed El Hagani. Number 6, Mitch Mollison. Number 7 is Sam Rodber. 8, Joe Blowers. Number 9, Mason Platt. 10, Dawid Pablinski. And number 11, Rory O'Boyle. Substitutes for the Red and Greens. Number 12, Sammy Muzaffar. 13, Jared Bradshaw. 14, Anna Miles. 15, Ash Narwell. And number 16, Hamza Sadiq. Coventry United playing in a altered strip of green shirts with red shorts and socks, so I guess they're the green and reds today. Well, Histon wearing red shirts with black shorts and socks. United kicking from right to left where we are. There is a gantry at Bridge Road Stadium, but with Histon's cameraman using it, we thought it would be best to situate ourselves in the stands to avoid ruining their audio with my commentary. Well, Rory O'Boyle is actually wearing the number 17 shirt from what we can see. He was down as number 3, but clearly he didn't like the feel of the number 3 shirt. So on the ball now for Histon is York. Lofted ball on the right-hand side, easily picked out by Riley Devoyle. Interception made. Towner. Drifts out of play. Coventry United with the throw just in front of their technical area. Chesterton. Platt wants it short. Mason Platt gets it short. Kills it over. No one home, but swung towards this near side by the left back. O'Boyle into the box, and Platt's making a nuisance of himself. Eventually flicked out on this near side by Max York. There's the throw from Chesterton. Mollison dispossessed, and it's out off Mollison by Babacar Kamara off his standing leg. Racing away now is Towner. Acres of space to utilise. Towner, the captain. And for a route through and brought down from behind by Rory O'Boyle. Referee says no. A little bit of trickery keeps the ball away from Cole. Mason Platt, but now it's back with the Stoots and Collison. Well, it's going to be a bit of a tongue twister today. We've got Mollison in midfield for Coventry United and Collison at right back for Histon. So try not to get confused. And a play for a throw just down the line from the penalty area for Histon. No nonsense defending from Coventry United. It looks like at the moment United are playing a wing-back formation with Chesterton alongside Pablinski and Ed El Hagani. O'Boyle playing at left wing back. You expect Chesterton to play a little further afield. On the hand of York. Looking for an early opportunity. A towering header by the man mounting Ed El Hagani. Mollison turns and finds Joe Blowers, who's hassled and harried by Sadiq. O'Boyle can only return to the throw-in taker. York whipped in. Indecision from Duggan. Nearly cost him, but it was a brilliant save. He thought about coming for it, decided to backtrack to his line and made a crucial save right on his goal line. Solid header by the Histon forward. Platts And muscling the number 6, Crisp. He appeals for a foul, but it's up the other end now. A whip in by Connor Barnes. Not the cross that he was hoping for, out for a goal kick. Histon without a win in their last 3 games. United suffering that 2-0 defeat at Desborough last Tuesday. Not in action last week due to Devoyle. Curls over to the left-hand side. It's going to be a race between Devoyle and Collison. Looks like United's number 17 today was a little behind that one. From upfield towards Barnes. Other side able to maintain possession particularly well in the early going. As Histon looking for a route through on the right side. United with a potential debutant today, former Kenilworth Sporting youngster Hamza Sadiq on the bench. He's a midfield. Garner gets his bonce on that, returned to sender. Max York, covered up by O'Boyle. Down line with Kamara. Tries to go alone. And not it into the bottom corner. That's a fantastic finish. Early goal there, Histon. Glancing header by Luke Crisp. Puts the Suits in front. A crisp header. Well, it's been an even start so far. United may well feel unlucky to be behind at this early stage. But you have to stand back and admire that finish. Great header by Luke Crisp puts Histon in front on 6 minutes. Not the start the Carlton Island side would have wanted. They're immediately on the march. They've got a throw knocking on the door of the Histon penalty area. Chesterton are going to wrestle it away and put it into the area just a couple of yards ahead of Mason Platts, collected by Roach. And Roach down the centre of the park. El Hagani nodded across Duggan, ensuring that it didn't reach Harry Meets, but also meant that Duggan had to go on a little bit of a track to his right to collect it. Duggan spots Senwood Geary in a little pocket of space, closed down by Luke Lindsay, but finds Dawid Pablinski, the 17-year-old centre-back. Mollison, former Highgate man, just shrugs aside Baba Kamara. Blowers. Devoyle lofts it down the right. Rodber will chase. Sam Rodber should get there ahead of Tunnel and does. But Tunnel able to hold Rodber back.
So just confirmation of opening goal. So it's Histon 1, Coventry 0, and the goal scorer is number 6, Luke Crisp. The
Now
time
for
of
a
the
goal
first
kick.
goal, it was in the 7th minute. So if you've got the 7th minute on the time of the first goal competition, come down and see us at half time, and we've got a nice bottle of something for you.
Well, someone's won something for the first goal of Histon in the the first goal minute competition. United would have been hoping that they scored the first goal, but best as none. And now Kamara. Once the case is on for Marcus Cole, tries to slide it back into play, but no, it's out of play for the goal kick. Gary Hardig less than enthusiastic about the performance of the Red and Green so far. We're only 10 minutes in. United are behind. Luke Crisp with a glancing header putting the home side in front. Ahead of Cole. El Hagani. Long ball flicks with the head of Meets. Burton all. El Hagani instead looking for Joe Blowers. The calls for offside. Flag stayed down. Headed by Crisp. Create some separation, but United have got it back through Chesterton. Mollison. It was not a bad ball for Rod, but just needed to be a bit to the right. It was down the line of sight of the goalkeeper, Sam Roach. There's no Coventry City action to bring you updates from today. They drew 0-0 at Swansea yesterday. And we'll let you know what's going on in the Premier League. A few early games have already finished. Oh, that's a great ball in for Barnes, but he's straight offside. And it was rolling back to Duggan anyway. Senwagiri takes it up to the halfway line. A little foothold in this game. Crossfield ball, not crossfield enough. Aurelio ball went straight back to the goalkeeper. Rolled off by Roach to Crisp, the goal scorer. Thumps it down the right and into the crowd. Coventry United throw deep into their own half. Right, Boyle playing a lot further up than he's used to today. It's almost as if United are playing a 4-4-2. Cheston to the Voyle. Cheston for Platts along the right-hand side, but it's met in the air by Collison. Kamara back to Collison, sending Barnes on his way. And Lagani gets there first, but Barnes to snatch it away from him. Pablinski has to race to the number 9 to snatch it away. And Lagani dragged down. Referee says no foul against the in rather than allowed to go for the corner. Senwagiri Boyle's in there. He got the head on it, but can only head it up. And Platts appealing for foul against Max York, I believe. It's opted out by Towner. The end of United's first real spell of pressure. But they're going to come back now with Devoyle, receiving from Chesterton from the throw. Here's Dawid Pablinski, Blowers, former Southend youngster. Back to Pablinski, wearing number 10 today. Harry Chesterton, Solihull Moors youngster. Oh, was that off the arm of Joe Blows? It looked like it. And that may have been a detriment to Rory O'Boyle, who expected the free kick to be given and wasn't expecting the throw in. There's a bit of work to do. 15 minutes gone, they're 1-0 behind. All the way back to Duggan, formerly of Preston North End and Birmingham City. Is launched from the back onto the head of Tunnel. Meets looking for Kamara. Kamara chests it down. Sandwich between Mollison and Devoyle. The referee gives the free kick. I mean, maybe a little bit harsh there on Riley Devoyle. He took the ball cleanly. To let us know if you're enjoying the coverage here on CUTV in the YouTube comment section. Sponsored as always by JAB Consulting. Free kick from Tunnel in the centre circle. Floats over the head of Max York and out for a goal kick. Josh Few tuned in, supporting the Stoots this afternoon. Subscribe to Coventry United TV. There will be video highlights of this game. Hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow morning. The battle continues in the midfield. Kamara sending Cole on the chase. And Lagani gets between Cole and the ball and flops over with a little push from behind by Cole. Well, it's easier moving a mountain than it is Ed Lagani, so I think he's been looking for that one. Some players go over if you sneeze at them, but El Lagani is not a player you can usually force off his feet unless he wants to go. He's got the free kick anyway on the right side of his penalty area. Cleared by Duggan. And a blow on the head on Mason Platts. Again, referee says no foul. Platts hasn't been getting the decisions from the referees this season since his move from Quorn. Towner. There's two players making the run there, Cole and Barnes, but neither of them were quick enough to it. Duggan keeps it in and finds Dawid Pablinski. Looking to switch the play, but too central. But it's an awkward bounce for Collison. He's got Platts and Roach staying down. Collison thought he had all the time in the world, but a determined Platts racing behind him. Roach had to do something, raced out a clatter between the two players. I'm glad to report that both Roach and Platts are okay. First real sign of promise. This is only part one of our Easter doubleheader. You won't want to miss part two. Monday afternoon, 3 o'clock kickoff, Butts Park Arena. It's El Covico, Coventry United versus Coventry Spinks. Spinks currently top of the table. Let's see if the red and greens can cause a shock. But first, they've got to get through Histon. At the moment, as we said, they are 1-0 down. Early goal coming from Max Crisp. O'Boyle. Mason Platts. Yeah, a bit of a jostle there with Crisp trying to get to the loose ball. It slowed Platts down a little bit and it trickles out on this near side for a Histon throw to be taken by Collison. For Cole. Cole flicks it on with a head to Barnes. It's chested into touch by Dowie Pablinski, ensuring the run goes no further. And now a chance for the cross for Cole. Deflected out of Ed El Hagani for a throw in level with the penalty area. Good build-up play from the Stoots. There's an array of cameramen here today for Histon. Counted, they've got 13. Coventry United, we've got 2. You're listening to one of them. Quality over quantity, we ought to say. So the throw to come from York. Launches it in. Nodded away at the near post by Pablinski. O'Boyle couldn't clear him. Kamara first to the seconds. Plays a 1-2. Tried to return it to Max York, but the return ball's not what was needed. Now United on the counter with blowers. Mitch Mollison got options on the right, including Selmagiri and Rodber. Went further up for Rodber and it was slid away by Tunnel. United back in their own backyard. Promising counter ended. United simply choosing the wrong option. If they went with Selmagiri, they could have built a little bit further down that right-hand side. El Hagani. Just bounces in front of Rory O'Boyle. It's been a frustrating opening 20 minutes for Coventry United. They just don't see him at the races. El Hagani fuming at Rory O'Boyle, not getting on the end of that ball. They do have attacking options on the bench, including Jared Bradshaw and Sammy Mazaffa. Towner. Holding off Mason Platts, his ball onto the head of Ed El Hagani at the back for Coventry United. Pablinski receives it from Devoyle. Aimless ball down the middle for Coventry United. Straight back to Roach. We're almost halfway through the first half. United have only had one chance. That being that open goal missed by O'Boyle, which in fairness was closer to the halfway line than it was in that top corner, but not to be on this occasion. United supporters have headed up from the Free Spied City with a number of supporters. Hagani lost away from Towner. Control high into the sky by blows, but he's brought it down. Mollison. Blows just avoid. There's the throw from Collison. Barnes. Volleyed into safety by Riley Devoyle. Nodded up by Crisp. O'Boyle up there with Collison, who got the touch. It's a Coventry United throw. Came off Collison's head last. The ball gives it to Cheston, who throws to Platts. Oh, and a scuff by Mason Platts. It's been a scruffy performance so far. Back in their own end. Handball claims on Harry Chesterton. Chesterton's arms were by his side. It would have been harsh. Devoyle slips it over to the right-hand side, looking for Sam Rodder, beaten mid-air by Tunnel. Collected by blowers. Now Assad Selmagiri, the former Leamington youngster, back from university this week. Selmagiri. His cross cannons off the back of Tunnel. Meets. Now Luke Lindsay on the counter for Histon. Poor ball to Barnes, brought to the feet of Pablinski. Out of space on the left, Mollison will look to... was offside. They've just been choosing the wrong options today. Have looked strong. United have had the majority of possession since the goal. They need to do something with it. Chesterton. Devoyle. And his arm dragged. And Towner trying rather roughly to get the ball back. He was standing over a prone Chesterton. Maybe a free kick should have been given there. It's a crossfield ball by Devoyle. That's a great ball by Devoyle. And now Rodber looks to make good of it. Puts it in for Mason Platt. He's dragged down. Referee says no. Having his arm pulled by the goal scorer, Matt Crisp. Platt thinks that he should have got the decision. The man in black says otherwise. Roach. Too far for Kamara to stretch it. It's away from Barnes. Bablinski scoops it over the winger. Chesterton only nice bit of trickery from Gary Hardick there. There is operation earlier in the season. Handball claims against Towner. Referee says no. In the midfield, Histon have it. Hasn't been a vintage game so far. We are 25 in. Platz. Shielding from Crisp, gets the foul this time. Wants to start quickly, but Crisp preventing it. Devoyle through the centre of the park, looking for Sam Rodber, and Mason Platz taking it away. Sorry, Joe Blower's taking it away from Mason Platz and sending it skyward. Jeff Cruz saying, is anyone else getting buffering on the live commentary? Yeah, sorry about that, Jeff. The Wi-Fi isn't brilliant. We are doing our best with it. Kamara. Task's too far for Cole in the area, but he will get there on the far side of the box. Just shrugged into touch by Chesterton. Justin did get a touch on the way out. It's going to be a corner to Histon. Going off air at half-time here on CUTV for around 10 minutes. I give the United Counties League season usually. Corner nodded behind by Ede Lagani, and out for a throw. That's kept in him. No, it's not kept in. It's difficult to see on this far side of the field. Lines are a little bit faint on that far side, so it's going to be a throw-in, and it's Max York who's going to take it. Long run up, Aaron Gunnarsson-esque for any Coventry City fans tuned in. Launched in by York. Chris is there again. And going to get his head on it. Kamara. Initial block made by O'Boyle. Here's Towner. Dipped over the woodwork. Kick drifts to the right. Tunnel leaps in and heads it out. Just into United territory. Throw on the right-hand side for the Red and Greens. Senwagiri. Return ball by Blowers. The Rodber cut out by Tunnel. Takes it into a congested midfield. Gets through Mollison. Kamara. Oh, it was just behind Barnes. It was offside anyway. It was a dangerous move for Histon. Barnes just got his timing wrong. And here the United fans making their voices heard in the end behind Roach's goal. Expecting a big crowd on Easter Monday. The visit of Coventry Spinks, the league leaders. Unfortunately, the Sky Blues were at home that day. We would have been home for a bigger crowd. Mason Platt hacked down from behind. Free kick, Coventry United. Nods it in, handball claims Bablinski. Mason Platt couldn't bring it to feet. And it's slid away by Tunnel. Danger may not be over just yet as Tunnel with his back to the ball. Dangerous ball back into the area. And it nearly led to another collision between Roach and Platt, but this time the goalkeeper gets there just a millisecond first and launches it into the trees. Sam Wagiri, the former Leamington youngster, finds Mollison, but his touch takes it away from him. Towner and lofted away by Tunnel. Barnes heads it on. No one home for Histon. El Hagani tracks it all the way back to Duggan, who scoops it up the far side of the park, the right-hand side for Coventry United. Now Sam Wagiri, judging the bounce well, keeps it away from Tunnel. Offside calls against Rodber. Rodber leaves it. But I was trying to get to the ball. It's sliced out by Roach on the left-hand side of his penalty area. United forcing the error. That's what they need to do. We've seen glimpses of it in the first half, and United have put that little bit of pressure on Histon. Histon, I wouldn't say buckled, but they have made slip-ups under that pressure. Sam Wagiri, it's a great throw to Blowers. Can he get the cross away, shoulder to shoulder with Meats? Slide in, deflects out off Joe Blowers. He accepts the decision of a goal kick. Promising from United, but they need more substance to get anything out of this match. And there is a stoppage in play here as a Histon player is down. But subs for Histon are Dexter Todd, Ollie Foley, Ben Horian, who did score at the Butts Park Arena back in November in that 2-1 victory for Histon, Kieran McGinty and goalkeeper Chris Goff. Well, mind you, I say he's a goalkeeper, he's down as number 13, and United do have a number 13 on the bench, and he's not a goalkeeper, that being Jared Bradshaw. Prefers to play in number 13 because he's unlucky for some. And on the bench for United, as we say, Sami Mazaffa, Jared Bradshaw, Adam Miles, Ashnala and Hamza Sadiq. We're hearing that Miles isn't 100% fit and more than likely not be used unless absolutely necessary. Let's get you some half-time, some current scores from the Premier League, not half-time yet. We've got about another 10 minutes before that. Full-time score from the Premier League: Manchester United 2, Everton 0, goals from McTominay and Martial. Brentford 0, Newcastle 0, Fulham 0, West Ham 1. That could be a big result for David Moyes. Leicester 0, Bournemouth 0, Spurs 1, Brighton 0, and Wolves 1, Chelsea 0. Excuse me. Not good for the commentators to have a tickly throat. Well, everyone is accounted for as the referee getting the game underway once again with this goal kick from Roach. Sam Roach away. The guy pushing into the back of Luke Lindsay. Referee says no foul. Over a kick by Pablinski. Rodber. Challenge from behind by Tunnel. United want a free kick, not going to be given. Here's Meats. Off Meats. Mollison encased in red and black. Oh, run into the backside there of Meats. He slipped and went head first into the number 8's derriere. No foul given. It's back to Duggan, who scuffs it to the right, just kept in by Sam Wagiri. Histon down to 10 men at the moment, with York still receiving treatment. Mollison looking for Sam Robert down the right-hand side. It's an awkward ball back to Roach. Mason Potts trying to get in there, but Roach gets it away. Barnes avoids the challenge of Mollison, runs into El Hagani, but the deflection takes it across to Babaka Kamara. The assault continues for the Stoots. Luke Lindsay. Lindsay thinking about the long range spectacular. Cushioned down by Talon to return to Lindsay, but Mollison holds him at bay just for now. Kamara, looking for Lindsay again, but the cross is cleared as far as Kamara once more. Kamara came close once before, will he do it again? Barnes. Towner drifts to the right. And on the slide, did it take a touch off? Corner kick to Histon, and they're back to full strength with Max York recalled onto the field after receiving treatment. That full-time score to bring you in the SPFL, if you haven't seen it already. Celtic 3, Rangers 2. Histon to double their advantage. They took the lead in the 6th minute through a crisp header. Tunnel puts it in that vicinity again. Elagani has won everything in the air today and could put United on the comeback trail here. Blowers, heavy touch, takes it into the path of Meats. Curtails that potential counter, but the ball is poor from the Histon defender. Peblinski finds Blowers. Looking to cut in, curls it, looking for Mason Platts. Platts might get there. Tried to cut it back, but too much spin on the ball. And it's out for the goal kick. Unlucky for Coventry United. Good counter from Joe Blowers and Mason Platts. Less than 10 minutes to go until half-time. And we see Hamza Sadiq warming up. Another young lad drafted in with a potential to earn a place in the squad next season. Doesn't really play for the Coventry United. Carlan has made it clear these last few games has been about assessing options for next year. Of course, with the playoffs being introduced next year, finishing the top 5, you've got a chance of going up. Of course, those who finish in the top 1 would much prefer to be there. Roach. The head of Cole, chance for Barnes to chase, just about keeps it in. Down line with Kamara, level with the penalty area still. First time whip in by Meats, and a header away by Peblinski. Rodber gets the ball ahead of Tunnel. Now can he beat the number 3 for pace, the former Sky Blues youngster? Yes, he can, but he drifts into touch. Good effort on show from Rodber. Tunnel just edging him over the line. Throw. Lindsay heads only as far as Elagani, high into the sky from the man-mountain centre-back. Mollison, he did get on the end of it first, but dispossessed by Towner. 1-2 with Kamara, and a swing at it by Luke Lindsay. Not going to cause any sleepless nights for Duggan. Peblinski, now DeVoyle. 1-2 with Peblinski and back with the 17-year-old centre-back. Peblinski to Mollet. Well, I won't repeat what one of the members of the Red and Green Army has just said, but they want to see improvement from Coventry United. Collison. Too much work for Cole to do, and it's out for a goal kick. Five minutes to go until the break, plus stoppages, of which I think there will be a few. I'd say 3 minutes. We've had two injury stoppages. Darting run by Peblinski. Took up on the slide of Towner, but Senwagiri picks up the loose ball. Rodber charges down the attempted clearance from York. Now York's got to decide where to go here. He shields the ball with the touch for a Histon throw. Throw to the feet of Lindsay. Barnes the target. Barnes turns O'Boyle, but he held back just that little bit by Rory O'Boyle, slowing him down, allowing Duggan to get there first. Flick up by O'Boyle. Chesterton. Mason Platts through the leg of Meats. Chip ball to Platts down the left. He's going to take on Max York. Drilled in for Mollison. Will he shoot or cross? He crosses, but it's turned away at the far post by Tunnel. No one home for Coventry United. DeVore keeps it alive. Rodber's in there. Again, Tunnel heads away. Towner. Kamara looking to take on Peblinski. Instead goes left. Lindsay beaten 1-on-1 by Senwagiri. United are not done yet. Mollison. Well, Robber would have had to be a white Usain Bolt there if he was going to get to that. Here's easy pickings for Roach. Into the centre circle. Brought down by Townend, but given away to Mollison. Blowers. Not going to whip it in now. Platts is in there, as is Harry Chesterton. It floats over both of them. Collison. Oh, De Boyle with a little dummy there, ducking beneath the ball, allowing it to find Rory O'Boyle. Bablinski skips away from Barnes. Bablinski's ball, cushioned by Collison, but picked up by Chesterton on the edge of the area. Platts is in there. York, who's his nose taped up now. United can't find a way through, and Collison will fire it along the right touchline. It's kept in. Barnes, he's got Cole with him. Going to switch the play to Lindsay. Didn't have the legs on it. Senwagiri gets a response on that. Only as far as Turner on the left. Shoulder to shoulder with Rodber, who halts his run. Meets. Boyle ensuring didn't reach Connor Barnes by handing it out on this near side. Last 90 seconds of normal time. Just having to retrieve the ball at the moment. And it is Max York with ball in hand. And a nose hanging off his face at the moment. And nodded across and nodded in. Broke on nose or not, that's a great throw from York.
Histon, just before half time, it's Histon 2, Coventry 0. And it's scored by Histon's leader scorer this season, number 7, Luke Lindsay.
Another header. Now. Perfect way to end the first half for Histon. United now have a mountain to climb. A learning curve for this young team. So the only way to learn, having to go through experiences like this. Senwagiri to Chesterton. Mollison, now Devore with a chance to get it into the box. Can the captain put United back into this? The cross headed away. Chesterton keeps it alive. Devoyle back to Chesterton. He's got Mollison behind here, is Mitch Mollison. Blows has a go and forces the first real save by Sam Roach. Roach diving down to his right to keep it out of the near post. Kick straight down the centre of the park, back to Duggan. Senwagiri. And he knew that ball was getting away from him. Tries to fire it up the right flank. It slips out of touch. And it's half time here at Bridge Road Stadium. Histon 2, Coventry United 0. And we'll head into half time. We're back for the second half here on Coventry United TV. We're expecting a half-time substitution very shortly. Sami Mazaffa will be coming on to the field. And it looks like, I'm trying to figure out who's coming on for the red and greens. We believed it was going to be Rory O'Boyle, but we can see O'Boyle on the field. It's Sam Rodber coming off. We'll see there, number 7 on the board, Sam Rodber, replaced by Sami Mazaffa. So it's going to be a like-for-like change.
So that fun for 50-50 of 75 quid's just been claimed. So thanks to everyone for taking part. And enjoy the second half.
So a reminder of that half-time substitution for Coventry United. Sam Rodber replaced by... That's a late change to the lineup before it was published. And that Mazaffa was going to be starting on the bench. I was looking for a bit of an impact player and how they will need one. They head into the second half 2-0 down. Goals from Crisp and Lindsay, the number 6 and number 7 for Histon. And it's all to do for United now. We are underway with the second half at Bridge Road Stadium. Kicking now from left to right in front of the CUTV camera in green shirts with red shorts and socks. Remember, the big derby is on Monday. Coventry United versus Coventry Spinks at the Butts Park Arena. 3 o'clock kickoff. £8 for adults, £5 for concessions, £2 for under 16s. Do not miss it. O'Boyle. Cheston down the left-hand side, but just rolls into touch. Kamara. To send Barnes through. Kind of Barnes shields from Pablinski and for a route in from the right. Drags it back. Lindsay, can he turn and shoot? He can. Cannons off Samuel Geary. Good block made by the young right back. Oh, the long range strike has hit Lindsay in the head. As Histon look for a second bite of the cherry. Here's Meets, who got that shot away. Kamara playing a little deeper today. Tunnel sent high into the sky by Pablinski, who will be the first to bring it down. It's headed into the box by Tunnel. Pablinski beats Barnes to it. Lofted into relative safety by Samuel Geary. Chesterton started down the centre circle only as far as Crisp. Tries to get Histon on the front foot with Lindsay. Didn't get there the first time of asking, but he has got it back from Towner now to Samuel Geary's attempted clearance. Samuel Geary shielding from Luke Lindsay. Hooks it up line. Kept alive by Tunnel. Oh, and that was a crucial header by Pablinski to ensure it didn't get onto the head of Marcus Cole. And Duggan has brought out his Chris Kirkland-style cap to keep the sunlight out. He's got the ball in his hands now, and Pablinski receives it. Darry Pablinski. Platt's looking to find Joe Blows, where it's cut out by Meets. Left it clear by Roach. A collision between O'Boyle and Marcus Cole, and O'Boyle's gone down holding his head. Ball back on his feet. We're looking at some more United substitutes getting ready. Hamza Sadiq is stripped off and could be making his Coventry United debut. Cross the ball, Samuel Geary cuts it out. And Mollison shields from Kamara. Histon in United's backyard again. O'Boyle scuffs that one into touch just underneath the gantry. Towner. With York. So McGeary pushing Lindsay a little further away, but he's picked out Meats. And Meats is going to have a go, stings the gloves of Duggan. It's back out with Mollison. And again, aimless ball from the back. It's the manager pleased with what he's seeing. Calm down, the United boss, not so. Barnes on the left-hand side of the box. Can he craft the third for Histon? Towner. Now Lindsay. Into the box with Marcus Cole. Collison's there. And Cole, before he was playing rugby for a moment, sends it over the crossbar. Well, Adam Miles going for a warm-up as well, and he's not took his training shirt with him. Sun's out, guns out for Smiler. Zafa tangling with Tunnel on this left side as he looked to craft a route. And it is a throw into Histon. Up by Tunnel. DeVore volleys it back where it came from. Platt is up there to try and get the counter on for Coventry United, but beaten mid-air. Lindsay heads away the long ball from the back for Histon. O'Boyle going to send Chesterton on his way, and Harry Chesterton has got there. Blowers. Overlap being made by O'Boyle. The former Church Youngs are looking for an opening for Coventry United. His path blocked off in the corner. United feel they should have had a corner there, but it was kept in by Marcus Cole. Morrison's path blocked off by the midfielder. It's back with Chesterton. Congested midfield, not doing wonders for Coventry United, and Blowers had his foot pulled away from him. It's Coventry United free kick, 15 yards into enemy territory. Well, Coventry United could go right back into this game, but that was too high, even for Alagani to get his head on. That's a goal kick for Histon. 7 minutes of the second half play have elapsed, and it's like Jared Bradshaw's being called back to the dugout from his warm-up. Adam Miles too. After that first half change would be needed. We've already seen one player brought on with Mazaffa on for Rodber. Elagani leaps like a salmon to get there ahead of Meats. I think Morrison was caught there on the toe. That's a painful one for the former Highgate man. There's Histon back on the ball. Driving up his Towner. Can Tunnel get it in? Tunnel had a bit of tunnel vision there, and he sent it to the near post. But Towner drives it across the face of goal. No one home to tap it home. And United making 2 changes with Jared Bradshaw and a debut for Hamza Sadiq. Bradshaw, a proven goal threat. He heads on for Mitch Mollison. And Rory O'Boyle, debutante, wearing the number 16, former Kenilworth Sporting youngster Hamza Sadiq. Well, Mason Platt hasn't come off, it's Rory O'Boyle who's come off. Just getting that one a little wrong. Here's Mason Platt on the ball for Coventry United. Can he make a difference? It's behind Joe Blows, who's on the edge of the penalty area. And touched back into the box by Collison, collected by Roach.
A quick announcement for you as well. If you haven't had a chance to vote for your Histon Player of the Season, we've got Richard Barlow walking around with some nomination forms. So please ask him for one and fill it in, and we'll announce that in due course. Thank you.
There's Elegani with his header away. Bradshaw. Going to send Sadiq on his way. Just a little behind that, Hamza Sadiq. It is a throw right in the corner, so United will try and box their opposition in. Here goes the throw, Sadiq's up for it. Nods it into touch. Just preventing the counter a little while longer. Sadiq, a hot prospect for Coventry United. Calm down and working very hard to sign him. Right, and again, Sadiq nods it out. Good work from the teenager wearing number 16. Tunnel goes over Sadiq this time. It's headed on by Senwagiri. Returned by York. Looking for Barnes. Dubinsky will find Riley Devoyle. Mazaffa the target. It's nodded into the midfield. Look at Mazaffa leaving his man for dust. Bradshaw, I should say. Into the area goes Joe Blows with a chance to strike the Coventry United, putting off the first save of the second half by Roach. Platt steaming in. Sends it wide. United sparking into life. Maybe those substitutions have done the trick. Brilliant work from Jared Bradshaw in the centre. We were having a joke before the game. He was doing a few keepy-uppies. I said he was a show-off. That was definitely showing off. Roach. Elegani should win that aerial duel and does. It's an awkward one for Mazaffa. Wasn't expecting it. Tried to keep it in, just slipped off the boot. Down by Chester, who's now playing at left back. Towner. Sadiq tries to prevent the run. But Histon still going. In by Collison. And brought into the chest of Duggan. Not an awful lot he could have done about either goal, really, Declan Duggan. Blowers. Now Devoyle. Looking for number 11. Barnes offside. He couldn't receive that ball, so El Hagani sends it back to Duggan, who rolls it quickly out for Dawid Pablinski. Sadiq trying to get on that crossfield pass, but the passing from United, I have to say, has not been good. It's not a bad surface either here at the Bridge Road Stadium. A lot of work's been put into it. There are a few patchy areas, but it should be a pitch that's suited for on-the-deck passing. Bradshaw. Gonna find a way out of that Histon sandwich, where it's hooked out by Pablinski. Bradshaw sandwiched between Barnes and Kamara. Found Senwagiri, who blasted it into touch. York. He's recovered from that nose injury earlier in the game. Looking for Crisp for his second goal of the game. It's headed away, and now United are on the march with Jared Bradshaw. He's got Blowers to his left. It's behind Blowers, but it's picked up by Sami Mazaffa. Can he use that scintillating pace to get into the area? Sami Mazaffa blocked on the slide by Collison. You just start to feel that little bit of confidence is creeping in for Carl Nolan's side. Taken short to Devoyle. Elagani's in there. beaten mid-air, and it's not often you can say that. Sadiq pulls it back, but no one home for United, and collected by Kamara. Sadiq charges down. Number 7 for Histon, Luke Lindsay, scored the second goal here at the Bridge Road Stadium. I'll say thanks to everyone at Histon for their hospitality this afternoon. Been very accommodating. So McGee gets his head in the throw, and Devoyle will find Duggan. Half an hour still to play. It's still Histon 2, Coventry United 0. Looking for the overlap of Chesterton, but the pass deflected out of Collison. Well, it's slightly less confusing now as Mollison's gone off, so we've only got Collison. And I've got Mitch Mollison's mum just behind me, so Mitch's biggest supporter. El Hagani, untroubled run towards the halfway line. It wasn't untroubled for long. Kamara making the block. Chesterton back to El Hagani. El Hagani can only pick out Marcus Cole. A little pirouette by Chesterton, trying to keep United on the forward march, but now they're on the back foot. Effort by Meats, blocked by Dawid Pleblinski. And launched out for a throw on the halfway line on the far side of the field. Poor Jeff Bennett over there who's taking the photos just where that throw's going to be taken. Slightly outnumbered today, as we said earlier, 13 cameramen we've counted. We've only got poor old Jeffrey over there, but he does a fantastic job. Make sure to head on over to his page on Flickr to have a look at the photos after the game. Sadiq. Oh, the last-ditch challenge in by Max York, preventing the strike from young Hamza Sadiq, who I must say is making an immediate impression on his Coventry United debut. And United are starting to make an impression on the Histon back line. And they'll have a corner, a rare set-piece opportunity to be taken by Riley Devoyle. Then keeper sees it coming all the way, awkward punch, and the foul's been given on the goalkeeper, just as Bradshaw was ready to try and turn it home. Because in that scenario, the goalkeeper is always going to win the day in terms of a set piece. Roach. Kamara's up there. Sam McGeary gets his head on it. It's only as far as the score of the first goal. Crisp. And it's put through for Lindsay for his second of the afternoon. Challenge behind by Ed El Hagani. Does the trick for the red and greens. That could be the difference between a 2-0 lead and a 3-0 lead for the Stoots. Mazaffa dispossessed for a throw on the far side of the field by Collison. Barnes, little barging up by Ed Hagani, but he's found Towner. Chip pass into the box, and McGeary clears his lines. Sadiq and Platt both up there for the seconds, but it's Meats on the ball for Histon. Across the halfway line, the tunnel. The two number 4s getting locked into action there. Devore heads as far as Towner.
Come on, Histon, be brave.
Meats to York. York's ball. Back heel by Barnes. And a slide in by Poblinski has caught Cole on the foot, but got the ball first. Mazaffa chips it over his man. Joe Blowers. And with Devoyle looking to spot the run of Mason Platt. It's an awkward one for Chris to deal with. He gets a turn, but he's challenged all the way by Mason Platt and has to play it out for a throw. Got Platt's lacks in size. He makes up for in pure determination. And there will be a stoppage in play here. United want to get going again quickly. But I think it's Coles who's gone down again. Marcus Cole needing a little bit of treatment here as United sending Adam Miles and Ash started against Desborough last week but pulled out in the warm-up. Carlton would be hoping that he'll be okay for the big one on Monday against Coventry Spinks El Covico, as we in the Free-Spired City call it. He seems to be moving all right, does Adam Miles, so there is hope here. Let's get some latest scores from the Premier League if we can, while we're in this little enforced break with injury to Cole. No, we'll get back underway. The throw's going to be taken now. Throw taken short to Platts. Dispossessed almost immediately. And now Histon still looking for that third goal. Platts commits the foul on Collison, the right back. It's like a little pit bull, that United number 9. I don't think it's a yellow card worthy challenge. It is going to be a little ticking off from Platts, and the referee is now going to allow the Coventry United substitutions, the final 2 of the match. Mason Platts is going to be heading off. And he's replaced by Adam Miles. Changing formation perhaps for Coventry United, and Riley DeVoyle also leaving the field.
Coming off number 9, Mason Platts. Coming on number 14, Adam Miles.
So Ash Narwhal and Adam Miles on for Mason Platts and Riley DeVoyle.
Coming on number 15, Ash Narwhal. And coming off to number 4, Riley DeVoyle.
So last roll of the dice for United manager Carl Nolan, assessing his options ahead of the derby against Spinks on Monday. Halfway through the second half, Coventry United have been improved, but not quite by enough. Adam Miles now wearing the captain's armband in the absence of Riley DeVoyle. Blowers. He's run towards the penalty area, cut off by Tunnel. Senwagiri. Joe Blowers brings it down. Across by Sadiq. Out for another throw right in the corner. And we've got a change for Histon coming up. United have made all 5 changes before Histon have made 1. Senwagiri to the feet of Sadiq. Can only find Towner with Bradshaw lurking in there. It's up to Barnes, the number 9. United calling for offside, but Coles is on. And Duggan has to race out and launch it into the greenery behind the stand on the far side. And here come the changes now. Well, the change, I should say, for Histon. It's Babacar Kamara being replaced by Dexter Todd. So Dexter Todd on for Babacar Kamara. Kamara smiling as he knows it's a job well done. We need another match ball here. So a quick update on the Premier League scores. Aston Villa 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Brentford 1, Newcastle 2, Fulham 0, West Ham 1, Leicester 0, Bournemouth 1, Spurs 1, Brighton 1, and Wolves 1, Chelsea 0. Throw nodded straight back where it came from by Elagani out for another throw. We have 20 minutes to go here on CUTV. The highlights will be available either tonight or tomorrow morning here on CUTV, depending on what time we get back. Patient build-up play from Histon. Oh, and Bradshaw with a challenge, meaty challenge on the edge of the penalty area. Referee says it's fair game. Going in from behind on Marcus Cole. And at the other end, Blowers switching it for Hamza Sadiq, taking on Tunnel. Sadiq. Oh, and the cross well gathered at the near post by Roach. Next time we're here on CUTV this coming Monday. Live coverage of Coventry United versus Coventry Spinks. Right here on CUTV, kicking off at 5 to 3, although we do implore you, if you can, make it to the butts, please do. It's the biggest game of the season, so you don't want to miss it. Towner looking for Barnes down that left-hand side of the penalty area. Pabinski let it trickle over the line for a Coventry United goal. Kick taken quickly by Duggan now. And Hagani, the sun has gone hiding at the moment, so it's cooled down a little bit. And Hagani spots Mazaffa racing down that left-hand side. Can Crisp see it out? Yes, he can. The biggest problem for United is that Histon are just simply a more physical team than Coventry United. Of course, remember how far this young side has come. United didn't have a single player signed on until the final week of pre-season, the last week before the first game against MK Dons. They had to start a whole new recruitment process. That manager Ivor Lawton resigned due to personal reasons after the first game against MK Irish. Not a single player in this starting lineup today was over the age of 22. Although it has been a frustrating afternoon for Coventry United, you need to remember just how far this young side has come. If you, of the Coventry United, with 5 games to go at this stage of the season, if you offered it to them in July, they would have ripped your hand off. It was all about survival this year. Not just survival in the league, survival as a club. So the fact that United have got to this part of the league, and yes, it hasn't been a vintage performance from Coventry United today, but it's a miracle that United are in this position. Declan Duggan is taking out, gets that ball first ahead of the attacker. And of course, United have not only made all of their substitutions, even if they did have another substitute, they don't have a goalkeeper on the bench. Duggan's been a one-man goalkeeping crew since his arrival a few months ago, replacing Chris Roscoe, who's now signed on for Coventry Rangers. And Roscoe was a sole goalkeeper as well. They did have 2 goalkeepers signed at the start of the season in Roscoe and Jack Tragartha. And since then we've had a number of goalkeepers coming in, mainly from Alchurch, who were filled in when Roscoe was injured. Of course, he suffered a separated shoulder in a penalty shootout in the FA Vars. United had to bring in the likes of James Bayan, who was drafted in from Alchurch. Alfie Pyatt as well, young goalkeeper from Coventry. Harvey Randall, first of those brought in, very promising young goalkeeper. Well, Lucy said the Coventry United physio is going to do everything she can to make sure that Duggan is able to continue, but this is looking worrying. As I've said, United not only don't have a substitute goalkeeper, they don't have any substitutes. They've made all of them. So if Duggan can't continue, not only will United have to put an outfield player in goal, they'll also have 10 men. It's not like Sunday League where you can just pop another player back on who's come off. Well, Duggan is back on his feet, but he's moving very gingerly. It looks like he's going to continue, but that's not the most mobile that I've seen Duggan this season. That is a worry. And with 15 minutes to go, United might have a one-wing goalkeeper. It's Nodded out for a goal kick from Luke Lindsay. Elegani. And for a route out United's backline, cut out by Todd. Mazaffa, crossfield ball to Sadiq. Miles wants it through. Miles playing up front after coming off the bench and forces the best save of the afternoon from Roach. That was anything but a defender's finish. You may laugh about putting a defender up front for Coventry United, but Miles is one of United's top scorers this season. Although most of his goals have come from his head. Kick from Roach. And Lagani cushions it across this near side where Sonwagiri will keep it within the confines of the park. Sadiq. Oh, that looked nasty. Fell awkward on his ankle, but he's back on his feet. They're being shoved down from behind from Luke Lindsay. Lindsay ordered to get away from the ball to allow United to take this free kick. A couple of yards down the line from their own penalty area. Peblinski. Miles is up there. Miles wants a cross. Mazaffa was waiting, but Collison beats him to the punch and sticks his laces through that ball. Peblinski nods it up into the centre circle. There's Todd. Tunnel. Here's Connor Barnes. Cole. Now Towner. Histon in a commanding position late on. And a free kick for a pull on the shorts from Harry Chesterton on the far side of the field. United have come down from 2-goal deficits late on before. They've come back to score 2 goals in a minute before earlier this month against Rothwell. Don't count Coventry United out. Free kick lofted in. York's there. And the guy doing well, getting his bonce on that, out for a corner. And one of our furrier fans here at Histon wanted to play ball boy there. Typical terrier, and believe me, I've got one. Come in from Tunnel from the left. Todd being held. It's a good strong header away by El Hagani. Bradshaw. Runs into Tunnel. But Towner, I should say. Good strength from Towner. Oh, that should have been free. That really should have been the 3rd goal for Connor Barnes. Didn't hit it as sweetly as he would have liked. If he got a clean contact at the near post, it would have been nothing but net for the Histon number 9. Peblinski. Push the ball over to Harry Chesterton. Neat slide by Todd. United had that little 15-minute spell in the second half where they were starting to pressure Histon. Nothing has come since, and El Hagani just out-muscling Barnes, shrugging into the side like a fly swatter. Goal kick it will be. Dug in short to El Hagani. El Hagani gets the throw as he's barged to the ground by Cole, and then another substitution, another 2 substitutions coming up for Histon. That's Luke Lindsay, I should say, replaced by Ollie Foley. And Marcus Cole replaced by Ben Horian. Flanagan and Foley on. Lindsay and Cole off. Into the last 10 minutes. Throw from Chesterton. I've done to Bradshaw. Horian getting involved immediately. Bringing it back to Histon. Passes away from Noah, that long ball, but it is collected by Peblinski. Joe Blowers. Setting Mazaffa a task to reach down the left-hand side, and he's got there. Mazaffa cutting in to give United a chance. Sammy Mazaffa deflected. Oh, it's just in front of Adam Miles. Couldn't stretch to get on the end of it. You don't think a goal for Coventry United at this late stage would give the Red and Greens an almighty opportunity. They haven't looked up the races for the majority of this game. So imagine what a goal can do for you when you're at your lowest ebb. But here come Histon, Towner, Barnes. Skips past Peblinski into the path of El Hagani. In fairness to El Hagani, he has won everything today. Mazaffa hacked down by Collison. El Hagani puts his legs through that one, creates some separation. Time for a throw, allowing United to regroup. And the referee is having a word with El Hagani as the substitute Collison was suffering with an injury. He's now being replaced by Kieran McGinty.
Off the far side of the pitch, number 2, Sam Collison, and coming on to number 16, Kieran McGinty.
So that's change number 4 for Histon. And we expect that will be the last one because their other substitute is a goalkeeper. That being Chris Goff. Histon trying to see the closing stages out and end what's been a poor run for them. 3 games without a victory. United have been on a pretty good run until that defeated Desborough last week. Samwagiri. Oh, and Sadiq caught on the backside there with the studs. Tunnel, I don't think he's going to head into the book, but he will get a ticking off from the official. I don't think we've had a yellow card all game. He will take. Sends it into the Histon half. Well up for the seconds and gets enough on it. Now Blowers. Peblinski. That's great control by Bradshaw. And a chance to race down the right-hand side with the former Griff man. Bradshaw drags it across. But it's easy pickings for the Histon man. El Hagani shields from Todd. Still El Hagani. Oh, runs into the path of Meats. And the long ball floats over Barnes. Duggan comes out and ensures that the Histon substitute couldn't do anything about it. But with an awkward header behind the goalkeeper, Roach Miles, as he sent it in, he has! Maybe, just maybe, Coventry United can get something out of this game. It's 2-1. Adam Miles taking advantage of a calamity at the back for Histon. The defender trying to return to the goalkeeper. Roach put it beyond the shot stopper. And Adam Miles with a brilliant finish. Gives Coventry United the chance and the belief they can get something out of this game. Histon 2, Coventry United 1. Wouldn't this be a turn-up for the books? Far from a vintage performance, but they'd take a point all day long. Now, just look at the difference it's made at Coventry. What did we say earlier? 1 goal can change everything. But El Hagani slices that one out on the opposite side of the park. That was Adam Miles' 8th goal of the season. Which puts him far and away in 2nd place. He's now got his 2nd top scorer, 2 behind Joseph Akinbiade, who isn't in the team today due to an injury. Throwing towards Barnes. And Todd looking to end it. Flicking it towards the net, but well wide. Narwhal. And Histon realised they're not over the line yet. Histon barged over by Barnes. And United want to take a quick free kick, but Barnes isn't getting the required yards. So now Pablinski will take it, and someone's thrown another ball onto the field. Pablinski. There. Sadiq. Dispossessed by Tunnel. Don't switch off your phones, tablets or laptops just yet. This game isn't over. Crossfield ball, Sadiq should see that into touch and does. Making sure that Ollie Foley couldn't head straight for a corner, which is surely what Histon would do now. They got to this end of the park. They just head straight for the corner. There's a slide in there. Mazava, can he get the shots away? So we'll scramble in the area, but it's cleared as far as Narwhal with a free kick given. And Gaz Harnick telling Mazaffa, just hit it. Stick your lasers through it. Aim for the bottom corner. Easier saying when you're on the touchline. But United have got just over 2 minutes, plus stoppages. I'd say there'll be another 2 minutes there. So overall, about 4 minutes. It's not impossible. Could there be one last twist in this tale? Bradshaw was playing a midfielder of the moment. Surely gets the free kick from Towner and does. Pushing the back on Jared Bradshaw. United now trying to get everyone they can on the other end of the park. Pablinski will take. Looking for Miles. On the head of Miles. Blowers is there! Couldn't make the vital contact and Roach collects. "90 seconds of normal time to go. Fingernails at a premium here at the Bridge Road Stadium. Elegani with his hands all over Barnes. Referee says no foul. Bradshaw snatched away by Meat, but the second's collected by Chesterton. Miles beaten mid-air. Bit of head tennis going on here. First time we've seen that today. Stabbing by Narwhal. Miles trying to get there ahead of Crisp. Well, lunged in by McGinty, only as far as Blowers. Narwhal behind in space. Blowers going for goal. It wouldn't be the first time that Blowers has scored an injury time winner. He's got 2 to his name this season. But Roach saw it coming all the way. Both of those winners coming against Rothwell. And McGinty had no choice. He had to cushion it out away from Sami Mazaffa. Last couple of seconds of normal time. Flicked on by Bradshaw. Mazaffa there. McGinty put his head into a dangerous position. He was hoping to get a foul there for a kick to the head. It didn't happen. Barnes dispossessed by El Hagani. Here's Duggan. Histon holding on, but will they hold on until the final whistle? It's down the centre of the park. Blowers could be through. It's past Roach. It's past Roach. It's past Roach. It's in. Joe Blowers once again. After the 90 minutes expires, is a hero for the Red and Greens. That's the 3rd time he scored an injury time goal this season. Completely against the run of play.
Equalising goal for Coventry.
completely against what anyone thought would happen. Forget Fergie time. We're halfway into blowers time. Histon 2, Coventry United 2. And the kick straight to Declan Duggan. Surely United can't win this. Surely not. We've had a minute of added time. Narwell. Todd just sent it out on the far side. Histon can't believe a stunned silence has befallen the Bridge Road Stadium. Flicked on by Miles. Mazaffa. Was that a foul? Yes, it was. Forced down from behind. The entire mood of the Coventry United coaching staff has changed. My mood's changed. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Where has this come from? Everyone back for Histon. Everyone up for Coventry. Every single man in and around that penalty area wants to be the one to make the crucial difference. El Haghani's in there. Couldn't send it goal bound. Blowers keeps it alive. He can't again, can he? It's turned away, that cross. But here come Histon. They're not done yet. Connor Barnes. Narwell holding onto the arm. Referee says nothing doing, and Towner all the way home. Bradshaw's going to charge down Roach. Sent back where it came from with a head of Peblinski. Towner volleys it up. And Haghani, oh, and Todd puts it through. But Barnes was never reaching that, and Duggan is going to take his time. And Barnes running in on Declan Duggan. Duggan, as he's entitled to, taking his time in picking up the ball. Barnes frustrated, and who can blame that the Histon were pegged back? But that's not the way to show your frustration. And he could be the first man heading in the book, and he is. It's taken until the 94th minute for the referee to pull out that little black book. Yellow card for Barnes. After nearly 4 minutes of added time, you might have a free kick in their own backyard. And Duggan touches it to Bablinski. It's their time for one more push. El Haghani to Chesterton. Deflected off Todd. And the referee holds proceedings at Bridge Road Stadium. United for 80 minutes. Didn't look like the Coventry United side, who we know can achieve anything in this league. But that crucial last 10 minutes was all United needed to pull a rabbit out of the hat and take a point back to Coventry. Late goals from Adam Miles and Joe Blowers complete an unlikely turnaround. And United will head home, not with the 3 points, but they'll take home a solid draw against a very tough opposition. And they head over to the travelling Coventry United faithful to show their appreciation. And the Red and Green Army show it right back. Final score at Bridge Road Stadium, Histon 2, Coventry United 2. Well, I've got to go and catch my breath. I don't know if I'm going to do that before the Spinks game on Monday, so I'll try and get the highlights up tonight. Once again, 2-2 the final score. Thank you for joining us. We're back on Monday afternoon, 3 o'clock kickoff. Coventry United versus Coventry Spinks. You're not going to want to miss that one. It's usually drama written all over it. From everyone here at CUTV, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.